What's up guys, it's Mason. In today's video we're going to be going over the prep and powder coat process of our leaf springs here. So last video I took them all apart. That'll be linked in the description if you're wanting to know how I took these apart and the process of doing that. But this video we're going to be prepping it. So what we're going to be doing to prep it is sandblast it. So we'll sandblast it first to get all the rust off, because a lot of spots on here like these, I mean most of it have really bad rust. Once we sandblast it, we're going to stick it in our oven to outgas. So we'll probably outgas it at 450, 500 degrees for a couple hours there. We're going to pull it out. We're going to sandblast it again. Main reason we sandblast it again is to remove all the contaminants that were pulled to the surface from outgassing it. And then after that, we're going to actually hand sand it. The main reason we hand sand it is to prevent any of that pitting to show through the metal. So a lot of times when you're dealing with bad rust like this, you'll have pitting, and that'll create an uneven surface for your powder coat to flow out on. And you'll be able to see it in the finished look, and that does not look good. Parts that aren't rusty, like if you were doing a new leaf pack, I wouldn't worry about it, but we're going to be sanding it down just to create a nice even finish. After we do that, we'll wipe it down with some denatured alcohol to remove all that extra metal and debris on there, and then we're going to go ahead and coat it. So let's go ahead and start with that first step. So here we have our small pieces. We have the bump stop, the 3 little spacers, and then this little piece sits on there. Now we have this piece we can fit in there, and then we already loaded up the small, super thick piece there. So once we get those done, we're gonna go outside and get these 2 done. So we just finished up sandblasting all the leaves. They're all looking much, much better. In the tight areas, obviously they're not perfect. You know, you still have quite a bit of that pitting and darker areas, but hopefully when we do that second sandblast and sanding them down, hopefully all of that will be gone. So now that we're done sandblasting, it's time to go ahead and start the outgassing process. We're going to put these in our oven at 500 degrees for about 2 hours. That way it pulls all the oils and contaminants to the surface. We'll hit them with a light blast from there to get all that oils back off, and then we're going to start hand sanding it from there. Here are all the parts after it got done outgassing. You can see they've gotten much darker than they looked like before. I think I'm going to only sandblast the parts like this one here, down in there, in here, and then some of the parts like this clamp here. But for most of them, these big open flat areas, I'm just going to take with the hand sander because I'm sure it'll be fine just like that. So we got them all sanded down. Now last thing is we're going to wipe them down with some acetone to get all that sanding debris off. So here are the parts, sandblasted and wiped down. I got them all to fit. It's definitely a tight fit, so it's going to be a slow journey back to the oven. Today I'm going to be using this OptiFlex Pro. These are the settings I'm going to be using. Normally I would use my +3 Master M, and you know we're a distributor for electronic equipment, so I like to use this one. But I always say I take this unit head to head with anything on the market, and by far these 2 are my favorite units to use. So today we're using this one, and let's go ahead and put some powder on. So now it's time to stick it in our oven for a partial cure. So we got our first coat of the primer on. It's all looking really good. Everything went on good. So now we're gonna go ahead and put our alien silver on. This one I loaded up in our small little hopper there. So yeah, let's go ahead and spray this on. These are the settings I just used on that second coat. This setting seemed to work better than it did the first coat. The first coat I had some problems getting stuff to stick, but not as much on this one. This one went on wonderfully. Everything looks really good. Hard, fair areas. It all looks good in there. In there. Everything looks pretty dang good. So now it's time to go and stick it in the oven. We got our alien silver on. Everything's looking really, really nice. I think I'm going to roll with these same settings that I used last time. That 80 and 10 seemed to work pretty good. We got our green loaded up. Let's go and put it on. got our parts out of the oven and cooled down, so let's take a look at them. They are all done. They look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys and tell you that they are perfect. Main reason why I was telling you I was gonna use that OptiFlex Pro, and the spray pattern between that unit and my +3 Master M, it's a little different. I went a little light on a lot of these, so like right here, you can see it's a little lighter than this one. Not crazy, not at the end of the world by any means, but it is lighter. But it's not going to be that big of a deal considering this is going to sit underneath there, so you're not even really going to see it anyway. But I do like to make everything look good. So now that they're coated, it's time to go ahead and assemble them. So the main thing is putting them back together with this, you know, pilot bolt that goes in between all these little holes here. And then you're going to have a nut on it, and then getting the bushings back in here. So let's do that and then we'll be done. So the only thing different, what I'm going to have to do versus what you guys would have to do, is cut your add leaf. So my add leaf was actually too long and it hit right here prior. So I just took a grinder and cut about an inch and a half off. I still made sure there's enough room in here that I could put the plastic piece in there so it doesn't rub. But that's the only thing I'm gonna have to do that's different, but everything else you can follow straight up. So I'm gonna first go ahead and cut this down, get it in the rim strip to go ahead and recoat it. So now that we got our outer leaf cut in the rim strip, let's go ahead and put our bushings in the top leaf. Let me start by saying I am not a spring shop. I'm not a professional at doing this. I am just showing you guys how I made these bushings fit in here and how it seems to be working great. So I'm gonna show you guys how I did it. First thing is you're gonna make note of which one of these is bigger. So on leaf springs, normally there's one bigger, then there's one smaller. So the bigger one goes towards the cab in my case, but to measure it, to make sure it's the bigger one, you can take a digital caliper, put in this hole, and I'm about 43 and a half millimeters. On this one, I'm about 40 and a half millimeters. So that means our bigger bushing is obviously gonna go in the bigger hole. The only problem with that, here's our bigger bushing. If you measure it, we're at about 45, so we're about 2-3 millimeters thicker. And on our other one, we're still at about 45, so we're still about 5 millimeters thicker on here. So what I did, I originally tried to just press these in using the vise, and I get about halfway, but it would start to tear over here, so I didn't want to do that. So what I did is took a grinder and a flap disc and grinded down the center part here, allowing it to be around closer to that 40 millimeter mark, and that's what let these slide in no problem, and they fit really well. They're still snug, they're still tight enough that they're not moving around in there, and I'm gonna show you guys how I do it. So here they are. They look really ugly, obviously. They look all marred up, but they'll fit in nice and they're not gonna break trying to get them in. So this is the setup. First gonna spray in some WD-40 on your leaf spring here and on your bushing. Make sure you're not doing this anywhere near where you powder coat, because silicone and powder coat do not mix well. But here we are. We have a wood here to protect the leaf spring from getting damaged, and then we have our vise is just going to push in our bushing. Once it gets tight and doesn't want to turn, you're going to loosen it back up a bit, and it just means that the other end has hit the board. So now, grab you a sleeve, something like this. I got this from AutoZone as like a ball joint removal. Just going to do the same thing. Now if it's almost ready to come out, just like it is there, a way to get it all the way out is open this a bit more and use like a little socket to push this in just a little bit, and that'll allow it to pop through, and then hopefully you'll be all good. So I heard it just pop through, loosen it back up. And then now it's all the way through on the other side, but this side's kind of concaved in a bit. Let's do that same process but backwards. There you go. Now we have a pressed in bushing. So we got this one and the one on this side over here. So now we're going to go ahead and start putting the leaves together and stacking them up. So first thing what I do is put down the top leaf, that's going to be, you know, the one you see from looking in the truck, upside down, and then you're going to start stacking them on top of that. So let's go ahead and do that. So you have your top leaf here, go ahead and flip it over like this, and then you're just going to keep stacking the ones on it. Make sure you have your little plastic pieces here to keep them from rubbing. And also, if your leaf had these little spacer plates in them, make sure you put these back in. You're gonna make sure the center hole here is lined up, or else you're not gonna be able to get your center pin in it. So now I got these, it's time to go ahead and put the add leaf in. We have our bottom spacer here, and then we have what I think is called the overload leaf. We got quite a ways to compress them down in order to make them look like a normal leaf spring. So to crush them down, we're first gonna put our center pin in. Should drop straight through. If not, you might have to wiggle worm it in like this. It's all the way through, so now it's time to take these clamps we have over here and compress it down. So we got them all tightened down just using our springs. Now we're going to go ahead and put our nut and washer on the bottom here to keep them compressed. These springs are done and put back together. We got our bushings in. All we have left to do is close these back down. So we'll take it back to our vise and push them in. So we're just going to do that by putting a 2x4 on either side, crushing it in. So here it is. We got them crushed in, looking good. Same on the other side. So now we're going to go ahead and put it on the truck. It's kind of a sucky day to show you guys, but both of them are done and both of them are installed. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here's the driver's side. Looking really nice. And if we come over to the passenger side, looks really nice too. So I think they came out pretty good. I'm pretty excited. Very excited to finally start working on the axle. That's pretty much it as far as the leaf springs. They are done. It took forever to get them done because of how bad the rusting and pitting was, but overall they came out pretty dang good. I can't complain. Hopefully when I do leaf springs again next time, it's not gonna be near as bad because hopefully they're new and I don't have to spend multiple hours sandblasting them to get them all nice and smooth and sanding them out. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to help. But thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.